everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spin It Reviews. And today I'm going to be talking about the Capital Cities show I went to at the House of Blues this Sunday. Man, this thing was awesome. But before anything else, I do want to let you guys know how this is kind of going to go in comparison to a couple of my other concert reviews. Basically, in my musicianship class in college, we do a couple of these concert reports, which are basically like 500 or so word essays about musical performances we go to. And I figured that, given it's due this week, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what I do on this channel, I figured I'd just read off the concert report I did for Capital Cities for you guys and see if you guys like it. So, just in a little bit, I'm gonna read off that whole thing, and yeah, let's go. Capital Cities is a synth-pop duo best known for their song Safe and Sound, which became a top 10 hit in 2013. That year they put out one of my favorite albums of 2013 in a tidal wave of mystery, which in my mind is just pop songcraft mastery, top to bottom. One really notable thing is how, for just being one album in, they're already impressively realized, both in the quality of their music and their live shows. It takes a lot to be 6th listed on a bill, and still manage to put on a fantastic show and get an entire amphitheater moving like they did earlier this year at X-Fest, which I actually talked about in a previous video. So naturally, when I heard they were playing a headlining show at the much smaller House of Blues, I knew I had to go with this. The show had two opening acts, the first being a band called Night Terrors of 1927. The influences in this band tended to range a bit. 1 minute they were doing emotive dance rock, kind of reminiscent of The Killers, kind of aided by the singer's dramatic Brandon Flowers-like voice, and the next they were doing brooding, neighborhood-esque indie pop. Plus there are a few songs, including their Tegan and Sarah collab When You Were Mine, which I know them the most from, that really could have been acclaimed hits in the 80s. Also worth pointing out is that the drums were pretty heavy and technical for the genre, which definitely helped in giving them a certain extra punch. The next band, Scavenger Home, was pretty decent, with passable enough songs and all, but nothing I really see myself looking much into in the future. Though I will say that, kind of like with the drumming of Night Terrors 1927, the guitar solos got pretty crazy and over the top at times, especially given the more restrained parts done for most of the set, which made for a pretty interesting contrast, I guess. I mentioned earlier that the other great live shows I saw from Capital Cities, and this being a headlining show in a one-room club venue only heightened that. Right from the start, it was just one tight, infectious, synth-pop, electro-pop gem after another, complete with a few covers of classic pop songs from the 80s and 90s, and, of course, some soaring trumpet solos, even on songs where there weren't even trumpet solos in the studio version. Usually I have a problem with the lack of talking between songs, but Capital Cities just have this fantastical, charismatic aesthetic to them that, if anything, it just helped give the show more momentum. And honestly, coming from someone that goes to a good amount of shows, this is a contender for the most fun concert I've been to all year. Every song had the crowd enthusiastically singing along, and even though I'm generally pretty reserved in terms of like concert behavior, even I couldn't help but move with everyone else at times, even just like going crazy and jumping up and down, and especially during the encore, when an EDM remix of Safe and Sound played, and the crowd basically turned into this big dance party for the last couple minutes. Overall, a fantastic show, and they didn't disappoint in the slightest. So if any of you guys have seen Capital Cities before, what did you think? Did you sort of agree with what I had to say? Is there anything else you have to add? Because I know I'm being kind of general here. I'm just kind of reading off this short paper here. Just let me know anything in the comments. And I also, for those of you that haven't heard their album and just heard Safe and Sound, pick up in a tidal wave of mystery like yesterday. It's just a fantastic pop album if you really are a fan of great pop songwriting and stuff. So yeah, share this around with anyone who might be interested. Like the Facebook page in the description for updates, commentaries, music news, and reviews of older albums. And hopefully I'll see you on the next episode of Spinner Reviews.
Yep.